I'm really glad we found it, and we know where to focus on. But yeah, those are challenges, and then always the juggling all the balls and focusing on the one hand on really operational stuff, like things that need to be done today, and on the other hand focusing on the long-term strategy and vision. Yeah, that's a challenge, but that's also why I like that we are with a couple of co-founders, because as persons we also complement each other in these kind of personality.
Real people, real stories, and real challenges that break the status quo. I'm your host, Živile, and welcome to Perception Paradox. Ladies and gentlemen, so today we're saying hi live from Slush 2024 in Helsinki, and it's literally so cold and so windy and so slushy. And today I have with me Robbert from Hula. And yeah, welcome to Perception Paradox.
Thank you. Good to be here.
I'm glad that you joined. So how are you doing? How is so far Slush for you? It's day 2.
Yeah, it's a blast. So Slush is it's my second time, so I knew a bit better what to expect, but still it's so overwhelming, like what is happening here, and for us it's really good. So meeting a lot of investors and a lot of interesting people. That's also what I like. So.
How different it is from last year for you, since you already learned how to navigate through?
I think in the preparation you better know what works and what doesn't work, especially with meeting requests and so on. So that's definitely something. Also, you learn that I would say not planning meetings back to back is a better idea. Still, I failed because this day also a lot of back to back meetings. But anyway, I think also navigating through the venue and knowing what to focus on. Yeah, sure.
Cool. I'm glad that you found time to join us here today. And so, if someone would be coming right now for the first time to Slush next year, what would be the best way to approach the investors if they're fundraising?
I think, at least I like to make it personal. So I think everyone, whenever you're an investor or a startup and you want to collaborate, it's also a lot about the personal relation. So there needs to be a match between two people to collaborate. So try to make it personal. I also think know who you're writing to. So if you're writing to a founding partner, probably these people are maybe even more busy than, for example, an associate, which is also busy. But I think the approach should be a bit different. So if you understand that, and also if you do some research on this person instead of sending a standard message, I think it's worth the time, and the likelihood that they will kind of engage with you is higher, I think.
100%. All right, let's go back to business. So you're a founder. I can see you're walking through the venue, smiling. I heard good feedback from other investors who recommended me, okay, you should talk to Robbert.
Okay.
So tell us, on what kind of mission are you right now with your startup?
It's a huge mission. So 30% of all the drinking water worldwide is lost through leaks in the network. It's a huge number. Yeah. So you have to imagine you go to do your groceries and 30% you throw away because it's waste basically. It's the same what's happening now with water in the system underground. And actually we always like to express our ambition and our mission in terms of swimming pools that we want to save in terms of water. So we have this mission to save 4 billion Olympic-sized swimming pools of water.
Okay, that's a big one.
It's huge, and we cannot do it alone. But we help utilities by reducing leaks in the network through AI and physics-based models. So we have a software platform that we developed with utilities in the Netherlands, which are leading in the world, to help utilities all over the world. And personally, my mission, I always say, if I'm 60 or 70, I hope I can get that old. And if I then can say to hopefully my grandchildren, like, hey, I helped utilities or people and communities in, for example, Brazil, to have access to clean drinking water, then the adventure is already a success. So
wow, that's pretty cool. Yeah. So how did you find this problem? What brought you there? It's not a regular problem area to tackle.
No, you kind of roll into it. So I was working in another water tech company in Leeuwarden, where I also actually rolled in. You have to, some things just happen, I would say. And then actually we were closely participating with a research institute in the Netherlands, where a lot of PhD is going on water technology, where actually the end users, in this case the water utilities, they come up with a kind of problem that they want to have research for. And the nice thing they do there in that institute, it's called WETSES, at the water campus in Leeuwarden, the Netherlands, is that also they include commercial companies. So instead of doing research just because of research, actually there is always a kind of a taste of, okay, but what do we need to get this to the market as well? So how can we commercialize it? And actually, we were participating in that, and that's how we actually got to the problem by these utilities. So it's also not something that we just came up with ourselves, but it's really felt by the industry.
So how about your team? How big is your team right now?
At the moment, we are with 12 people, coming from 8 different nationalities. So
wow,
really
that's
diverse. I love that. So it brings a lot of different perspective, and we are a founding team of 3 people.
Okay.
So yeah, it's.
How did you meet?
How we met actually is in that previous company that I was talking about. So one is also the co-founder of that company. So he's a serial entrepreneur and a colleague of me and myself back then. So we were the first ones to join the company back then. Had a lot of ambition and wanted to also make this impact by ourselves by being an entrepreneur. And that's how we spun out of that company.
And is it your first startup you're building?
Yeah, for me it's the first
one. So how
is
it going to be the first time founder?
Exciting, challenging, a lot of fun, a lot of learning, and I think you can see everything as a challenge, but you can also see everything as a new thing, like an opportunity. And I'm probably investors will also tell that, but my strategy is a bit like I need to find people around me that know more than myself, and then that's how I can learn. So I'm asking a lot, and by doing that, you can also make quicker and I think better decisions. But sure, it's challenging, but I really enjoy it.
That's cool. So how do you cope with challenges? What would be the most difficult thing being a founder, and especially for the first time when everything is so fresh and new? You have to learn how to navigate not only through product development phases, but also through fundraising parts, network effects parts, etc.
What is the biggest challenge? I think in the beginning, to be honest, also one of the challenges is how to combine everything on a personal life. And we bought our first house, and that's not where a lot of people talk about, maybe. But I think it is also can be quite challenging. And I'm lucky that I have a wonderful girlfriend, and that goes very well. But that is a challenge, I think, in terms of the business itself. I think, the continuous challenge in the beginning is, of course, finding the right exact value proposition and your right product market fit. Typically in the stage that we were in, I'm really glad we found it, and we know where to focus on. But those are challenges, and then always the juggling all the balls and focusing on the one hand on really operational stuff, like things that need to be done today, and on the other hand focusing on the long-term strategy and vision. That's a challenge, but that's also why I like that we are with a couple of co-founders, because as persons we also complement each other in these kind of personalities. So one is more the visionary and one is more the pragmatist. So
then when you're in between and you're just finding each other in the
yeah. So
okay, that's pretty cool. So if there would be one thing you would be different right now on your early beginning of the startup journey, what would that be?
I think one thing, or maybe one thing I wish I would know earlier is that one of the things is that I always had this image of investors, to be honest, to be really like money driven. Of course, that's also partly true, but also really kind of harsh and cold kind of people. You know what I mean? And actually, that surprised me a lot. So I think in university it's a lot about going to the big corporates and so on. And there's not a lot of information in the university scene, I find, on startups and VCs and that whole world. I was so lucky that I got to know it. But I think a lot of people, also a lot of my friends, they have no clue what it is about, and they see it as a bit scary, and I wish I would know that more. I think I wouldn't do that many things differently. I think, of course, now if I would build a startup again, things would be easier because you can do things quicker and you learn from your mistakes. So
for sure. So what's your growth plan right now?
Now, like I said, we have a global ambition. So
Yeah.
in the end, we want to be market leader on real-time monitoring for water distribution networks. And actually, that can land everywhere. So that makes it also quite difficult for us as a founders to focus. Strategically, last year we focused mainly on the Netherlands and on Brazil. And you might ask why?
Yeah.
Why Brazil? I will explain. So the Nordics for us is per definition also interesting, but the pain they feel is, I would say, relatively lower than Southern Europe and Latin America, for example. Southern Europe, you have a lot of big markets as well, but we see there still that big corporates take over the market a bit, and the market potential for us at this moment is a bit lower compared to other markets. And our next step, so Brazil is a big market, a lot of privatization in the industry, big problem, and a lot of traction because they already tried a lot of competition from us. So we're now testing with 4 big corporates there, gaining a lot of traction, and then we can actually scale from city to city to city, and then we might not even have to worry about any of the other countries at the moment. But yeah, we do focus on a couple of countries, otherwise it becomes too scattered. And
For sure. So it's quite so okay, Brazil, not a very regular market, different language, different dynamics.
Yeah.
How did you break through?
First of all, we have one person there, so a Dutch guy who lives there already for 30 years doing business development. He has the network there, so he brought us in, and it started all with a small feasibility study. And out of that, actually, we got in touch with all the C-level people there in those utilities. So actually, we couldn't resist it as well. That was actually the truth a bit. And then also, like I said, we have a very diverse team of nationality. So also we have one woman. She's Portuguese. So in terms of language barriers, we do not really see a problem. And actually, I have to say, in Brazil, the English is also quite well, I would say. So it's a well-developed country. It surprised me actually a lot.
That's cool. Well, when I was traveling, it was quite difficult with the English language.
Yeah?
But,
Okay.
but I think it's changing. It depends. I
think it also depends if you're in the big cities or in the countryside, of course.
100%.
Yeah.
All right, that's exciting, the expansion plans.
Yeah.
So what's next for you here at Slush still left? It's final day.
Now, for us, like I said, we last year, so 1 year actually ago at Slush, we announced our pre-seed investment round of 800K with, for example, Lumo Labs. And now we are 1 year further. Like I said, we have this ambition. And now the next step is to raise a seed round of 3 million. So meeting with a lot of investors. I also try to enjoy some sessions here and there, but it's quite difficult. Like I said, I failed in not planning back-to-back meetings.
All right, that's right.
But yeah, that's really why we're here to get first interest of investors. We have a lot of inbound, but now we also want to play the numbers game, so to say.
Okay, and build the connections. Very smart.
Yeah.
So I hope founders who are listening right now also got some great inspiration on how to navigate this.
I hope so.
This game and this whole world of startups. I guess we're getting closer to the end, and I have this one more question, or maybe 2 of them.
Okay.
What makes you wake up every morning and just go and build this? What's your intrinsic
motivation? It's a really cliche question and answer, I think, but I'll try to make it as practical as possible. So, in general, I would say making this impact. That's in general what drives me. So you see what's happening in the world, and you know, we have something in our hands that we can really make an impact instead of doing it really local. Now this can really make a dent, you know. So that's in general what drives me. I think from a day-to-day business, what really drives me is the team that we build around us. I really enjoy that people, when we give them the trust, that's really my type of leadership. So I'm not going to tell what to do. We trust people. We hire people that are, we think, better than we are, and that you see them flourish and really feel the same kind of drive to make this happen. Yeah, that's then I also get more motivated and want to do everything. So it's a circle.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what I really enjoy.
So look, I have this tradition in the podcast, so I like to ask every guest to leave the listeners with some kind of thought to ponder through the day. What would be your thought or question for the listeners right now, just to think about during the week?
How would it be if you open the tap and there is not coming water out of it.
Wow, wow, I'm dropping the mic.
Drop the mic.
Well done, well done. Any final thoughts?
No, I learned a lot from other founders, and I'm also still in the beginning. But I think it's really valuable to meet up with other founders and to exchange ideas. So if people listen to this and think like, hey, I want to know more, feel free to reach out, and I'm always happy to share my ideas, whether it's valuable or not.
Amazing. That was Robbert, ladies and gentlemen, from Hula. Feel free to reach out to him, and thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of Slush.
Thank you. Kiitos.